All the way from the ancient days of the Jedi Order through to the time of the Clone Wars, the Jedi Temple Guard served as the sacred security force of the Order, given the task of protecting the Jedi Temple on Coruscant from attack, invasion, or threat. Serving in the Temple Guard was a highly honoured and respected tradition within the Order, and required those chosen to completely detach themselves from emotion and identity. But what happened to the Jedi Temple Guards after Order 66 and the Clone Wars, and why was it so heartbreaking? Let's find out. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed for more awesome Star Wars lore content just like this. So right away, we can't go deep into the fate of the Jedi Temple Guards without delving into the history of the most infamous one of them all, the Grand Inquisitor. For those of you who don't know, the Grand Inquisitor did actually appear in the Clone Wars TV series as the guard escorting Barriss Offee to her court case after she framed Ahsoka Tano for a horrific attack on the Jedi Temple. This whole situation sadly eventually led to her defection from the Jedi Order, and in turn was just another of the reasons Anakin fell to the dark side. And I'll explain just how his presence at this court case eventually turned him against the Jedi Order and made him completely disillusioned later in the video, because it was a major step in his path to the dark side. The Grand Inquisitor himself was born about 15 years before the invasion of Naboo, and soon after he was discovered by the Jedi Order because of his strong Force sensitivity. He was then taken away from his loving parents on Utapau and brought to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, where he rose to the rank of Jedi Knight much faster than anyone expected. Eventually, because of his outstanding skill, reverence and service to the Jedi Order, the young Utapau boy was given the opportunity to become a Jedi Temple Guard, one of the most revered positions in the Order. In doing so, however, he was told that he must detach himself completely from his identity, relinquishing his name and even his face under a mask, and also must become devoid of any emotion. In order to increase his connection to the Force, he was required to do both of these things, which was the same responsibility that burdened every Temple Guard. And I don't even have to explain how this ancient tradition left him very vulnerable to the dark side once Order 66 eventually came around, because you can imagine just how draining this must have been on his mental state. And this is also most likely why we don't have a personal name for the character, as he was forced to set aside his old identity and prioritize his service to the Order anonymously. Now on top of this, during his time as a Temple Guard, the future Grand Inquisitor developed a strong hatred for the Temple Librarian Jocasta Nu, something which Palpatine eventually sensed in him and took notice of. Obviously, because this is not the trait of a proper Jedi Knight, Palpatine was very quick to capitalize. The reason the young Jedi Temple Knight hated Jocasta Nu was because he always tried to delve deeper into the Jedi archives and knowledge banks, hoping to read more and more of the obscure data files inside. He wanted to expand his knowledge of the Force further than any Temple Knight had before. Unfortunately for him though, the Librarian would keep very close watch on him while he did this, probably to monitor him in case he strayed to the darkness. And we can see how well that worked. She also ridiculed him for going so deep into the archives, not believing that he was worthy of having a proper education in the Force. As you can imagine, this infuriated him deeply, but as a Temple Guard, he was not supposed to show or feel any emotion in response to this. Following this, he was assigned to be the Temple Guard who escorted Barriss Offee to her trial after she framed Ahsoka Tano for a huge attack on the Jedi Temple. The future Inquisitor witnessed the entire trial, and after seeing how things played out, he was left seething with rage once again, feeling disaffected by the Order. Of course, because of his role as the Temple Guard, he couldn't show or express any emotion at all, but he was on the edge of quitting right then and there. The young Temple Guard completely lost faith in the Jedi Council and the Order as a whole because of how they pushed Ahsoka Tano out of the Order and their arrogance towards the end of the war. Despite not agreeing with her actions, the Temple Guard did actually sympathize with Barriss Offee's beliefs that the Jedi Order were now more soldier than peacekeeper, and that they were causing more harm than good in the galaxy. This again left him vulnerable to the pull of the dark side, which led directly into the time of Order 66. After the Jedi Purge took place across the galaxy, with the clone troopers of the Republic slaughtering their Jedi generals, Palpatine immediately recruited the young Utapau Guard to the Order of the Inquisitorius. He was able to do this so easily because he had sensed his darkness previously, and the anguish within him, very quickly appointing him to the rank of Grand Inquisitor. He was now second only to Darth Vader in the ranks of the Inquisitorius. Now that we know what happened to the most prominent and infamous of the Temple Guards, we can move on to the rest of them. You may be thinking that they were all slaughtered by Darth Vader and the 501st during Operation Nightfall, but this is not actually the case. Because the Grand Inquisitor had already been coaxed to the dark side and recruited by Sidious shortly before Anakin's scathing assault on the Jedi Temple, he was able to be utilized by Palpatine during the attack. On the orders of Darth Sidious, the Grand Inquisitor heartbreakingly turned on his own brothers who had served alongside him and began to slaughter each one, all before Anakin and the clone troopers of the 501st even arrived. The way he was able to do this was to rely on stealth tactics and the surprise factor. He could simply walk up to his fellow Temple Guard brothers and at the very last second, ignite his yellow lightsaber pike and pierce them through the chest. one of the coldest ways to kill. This fueled the Grand Inquisitor's dark side rage and even cleared the way for Anakin when he eventually arrived, making his entrance very swift and deadly. And this is actually the reason why we don't see any of the Jedi Temple guards waiting outside of the temple in Revenge of the Sith when Anakin arrives. Obviously, out of universe, George Lucas hadn't yet come up with the idea for the temple guards, but in canon it's definitely a nice little connection. Now, because Palpatine was pretty terrified of Jedi with yellow lightsabers, also called the Sentinels because of their pragmatism and connection with the general public, he needed them to be executed immediately after Order 66 and before Anakin stormed the temple. For those of you who don't know, the Jedi Guardians wielded blue lightsabers and focused on their fighting ability and strength. The Jedi Consulars wielded green lightsabers and focused more on the cosmic force, while the Jedi Sentinels, who had yellow lightsabers, focused on both. And for this reason, Palpatine believed that they would be the ones to pose the biggest threat to him, if any Jedi were to at all. After this, the Grand Inquisitor himself disabled many of the security systems and safeguards within the Jedi Temple, allowing access into the deeper parts of the complex for Anakin and his men. This ultimately allowed clone troopers to breach even the most secure parts of the temple, tragically putting an end to the lives of some very high-ranking masters. And tell me in the comments down below if you'd like to get a sneak peek inside of the Jedi Temple during Order 66 and Operation Nightfall with Anakin's slaughter, maybe in the Kenobi show or the Ahsoka show, pretty much anywhere that we can see flashbacks in live action. I just really want to see inside of the Jedi Temple during Order 66 and just how savage the rampage really was. We did already get a glimpse of that in the Revenge of the Sith PS3 game, but it'll be a completely different experience to see it in live action, so let me know down below. Now moving on, the part that makes this so heartbreaking is that only a few weeks before, he was perfectly in line with his brothers, harboring resentment within him of course, but certainly would never think to kill them. This all changed after the dark day of Order 66, when Palpatine manipulated the young guard into joining him and leading his new group of Jedi hunters under Darth Vader. During the time of the Empire, spectral visions of the dead Jedi Temple guards showed up in a Force vision to Kanan Jarrus, a survivor of the Jedi Purge, and symbolically knighted him within the Jedi Order. Now after this, some lost relics of the Jedi Temple guards, including one of their helmets, was collected by none other than Grand Admiral Thrawn himself, known for his fine taste in art, and kept it on display. A similar relic was also collected by Gracchus the Hutt later on, and the holocron of a Temple guard can also be found on the remote Outer Rim world of Batuu, which you might know as Galaxy's Edge. So if any of you guys get the opportunity to visit, make sure you look out for that. Inside the holocron is the voice of the Jedi Temple guard Kolo Marie, who served during Order 66 and was likely slaughtered by the Grand Inquisitor. His words tell of the pure honor and respect given to those who join the guard, and says that any knight or master can be called to serve. Those who refuse this service would likely be shunned by the rest of the Order for some time. So that is the heartbreaking fate of the Grand Inquisitor and the Jedi Temple guards after the events of Order 66 and the Jedi Purge. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.